Good morning, everyone. My name is Ian. Welcome to the 1 hour live webinar show brought to you by kclaw.com. It is a privilege of mine and an honor of mine to be here to host this particular webinar session on behalf of Casey. So welcome you guys. And of course, we have just now tested out the system. Everything is working fine. So we are going to go straight into the webinar. So today we are going to talk about property rental. And these days we also know that the property market isn't doing that well. All right. So everyone is either, if let's say you're on the buying side, you're on the, if you're actually planning to buy a piece of property, maybe it's a good time to actually look into some good deals, good bargains in the market. But what if you're on the seller side? That means you are trying to sell a property. So how do you actually get attention from prospective buyers on how are you going to get better? How are you going to sell your properties at a better rate, quicker? And of course, if you're a landlord today, how are you going to draw in attention from the prospective tenants so that you can actually rent out your property faster at a much better rate? So all these things, there's a secret behind it, and the secret comes in the form of staging, or we call it property staging. And this is the topic for today. And with that, we have actually brought in Miss T.Y. Koon. All right, some people call her Tycoon, some people just call her Koon. So we have brought her in to actually explain to us about what exactly is property staging and how it can help property owners to so thank you so much. Someone say hi, Miss Tycoon. All right. So basically, property staging is something to actually that helps you to actually market your property to either prospective tenants and prospective property buyers, so that you can get a better deal. You can actually market your property at a better rate. Now, how all these things work, Ms. T.Y. Koon will explain in a while. So let me just introduce her a little bit and why we have brought her here. So T.Y. Koon is like a property addict. All right. So she has been investing in properties for the past 10 years. So she has, I believe she has been there, done that. She has seen quite a lot when it comes to the property industry. And she's also a real estate agent herself, whereby she has transacted over 500 million ringgit in properties as a real estate negotiator. So she's both successful in terms of selling properties on behalf of the clients, and as well as investing into properties herself. Okay, so lately, to address the issues of the property market today, that's why she co-founded the staging team, where she helps prospective landlords to actually stage their property so that they can get their property. They can actually, market these properties to their prospective customers, so that they can be off the market quicker at better prices. All right. So it's our privilege and our pleasure to have Ms. T.Y. Koon on the show. So welcome.
Oh, I'm in?
Yeah,
Hi. Okay, hi everybody. Hi Ian, thank you. Thank you for introducing me. Should I just go straight into that?
You may just,
can everybody see my slide already?
Not yet. Of course, we see slides, but yeah, click on the play. Yes, now we see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I will just straight away go into what I will be sharing today. Okay. So I think Ian has put up on the title on how to get 20 to 100% more rent, and also sharing a little bit of the secrets of my property staging. Throughout this, I think I won't be reading the chat or reply anything. Is that okay? I'll just straight away go into my slide.
Oh, that part is my part. You just go.
Okay, all right. Okay. Thank you everybody again for checking on my slide today. And I know that some of you call me Miss Tycoon. Yes, that's actually my name, Tanyo Koon. So, but I just used to call myself Koon. Okay, all right. Before I start on the staging part, I would just like to share with you a little bit of my Property Addict investment cycle, which I do have a few steps. I think for being a property addict, that the first thing that I will talk about will be buying property. But of course, there are some time that I don't buy property, but I still can own a property. That will come another day. Yeah? Okay. Number two is that I will actually set my intention. Number three will be, we are talking about staging the property side of it. So four, even though I am a real estate agent, but I will still pay agent full commission in renting out or helping me to sell my unit. Rent or sell, not only I pay full, sometimes I pay more. Okay, and lastly, many people talking about passive income when it comes to property investment, but sometimes there's so much work. What kind of passive income are we talking about? I feel like I overwork when it comes to the property side. So that's where I engage a property manager to handle all the things that you can see on the picture, that someone who is like an octopus. So that will complete my cycle, and before I can buy property again. Okay, so these are my 5 steps into the whole thing. I will go into my step number 1. A common saying in real estate will be, you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. I think to this day is very true. This is a mindset that which every investor must have. Not to say that think about it is must have. But the problem with what I see for the past few days as an agent and also investor, people seems to be misunderstood the concept of make your money while you buy, not when you sell. Instead, we are talking about investing in property below market price. But what I'm seeing from the last few years is people mark up the property above market price. That is totally wrong. It sounds like people saying like buy property, no money down. I memang buy property, no money down. I always say that this is poor people buying property. But the fundamental between the two that I'm just sharing is totally different. Investing in property below market price compared to mark up the property above the market price and thinking that you are buying below the market price is totally different. I am very disagree with the second method for not thinking through. Okay, so I would also like to quote this, that the best way to predict your future is to design it, by Buckminster Fuller, something that I always hold on to. That's why buying property is very important. Then the second step for mine is to set your intention. Means I set my intention. Why setting your intention? Setting what? I can go left, I can go right. So because as an agent, people always come to me and say, hey, Koon, which property can buy? My answer will always be any property you can buy and any property you cannot buy. So because if you match the wrong property with the wrong profile, wrong investor profile, it will be totally disaster. Okay, especially for flipper who plays a quick game in flipping. If you just choose a right, just like a Cinderella sister who trying to fit into the glass shoe that is not for them, so that will be totally disaster. So to me, number 1 thing is to set your intention. Being fickle or indecisive is a potential flop factor. That is a number 1 thing to me. Not even whether it's a good property or not first, but is to set the intention when you buy the property. So what intention to set? That means that number 1, that I have to identify who are you. Anyone play Monopoly before? This is one of my favorite games. Okay, I have to decide, number 1, to be a keeper or to be a flipper. No wrong, no right, but you know who you are. Okay, so after you decide, there is a common thing that I see from my client and also frequently brought up to me. I'm a flipper. I don't need cash flow. I don't like rental. I don't like to handle tenant. Okay. So, but for me, fundamental of property investment is the occupancy. If you're talking about you want appreciation, you have to have the occupancy. Because occupancy leads to demand and leads to appreciation. Any of these part that is missing, you won't see the appreciation. We are not gambler. In property investment, it's never a gambling business. Speculation doesn't last. Just maybe it make you some quick bucks. So the question will be, do you intend to flip or keep? Okay, either way is fine. Just know what is your end game. You can even keep to flip, actually, especially for the market now. Ian, you remember that I was telling you that how I started this business, the property staging, is because that I have invested in some property that totally, hindsight is a dud. I made the wrong decision. I also have to clean up the mess and also to do something different so that the property can rent out at a higher price. That's where we started the staging team. Okay, now, people talk about home staging. Is it a new term invented by me? No, totally not. This is something that it has been overseen for a long time. We call it in the different name. Okay, so what is exactly home staging? Okay, this is the founder, the creator of home staging, Bugs Wash. So what her famous saying is the investment of staging in your home is far less than a price reduction on your home. It's something to ponder about. Okay, let's see. Okay, so exactly what is home staging? Just allow me to explain a little bit. Staging a property is bringing out the best of a property in order to attract tenants, buyers of the right profile. Okay, often people, when they ask me, Koon, what do you do? I'm a home stager. But they will be a little bit lost, so I have to tell them that, oh, I renovate house. Then they, oh, okay. But I'm not, I have to explain that I'm not a contractor. I'm not an ID, but I'm actually a property investor and also a property agent who look into increasing the value of my property. Okay, let me share a little bit on the renovation versus home staging. What is this? Okay, normally renovation you involve larger changes, and home staging is minor and cosmetic improvement. So it's like make up a little bit. So, but home staging is never not too much of like plastic surgery. So it's more into a minor kind of makeup. Okay. So for renovation, yeah, you look at this. Both of it seems like focus on aesthetic and functionality. So what's the difference? Okay. Number one is actually renovation is always to the owner preference, because the owner will say that it's my house. I'm the landlord. I will make the call. But for us investor, it's never about me. My house is not my investment property is not for me, but it's for my buyer and for my tenant. So my focus will be focused on beautifying property and the functionality and everything to attract the tenant. Because if I go according to what I like, I don't get my tenant, I don't get my buyer. So I just keep the property for myself. No, that's not my intention. I already have one home. So that is my home. The rest of my properties are all for investment. So very focused. Okay, so I will lead to is renovation is owner-centric and home staging is tenant and buyer-centric. Some of the owners here may be already complaining, what? I pay the money and I don't get to decide what I want to do with my property. Well, welcome to the Property Investor Club. And I actually did more for my tenant compared to my own home. I always say that my house TV is only, I think 40 or lesser. But I always give my tenant like 50 inches, 48 inches. So that already say something for you. Okay, renovation usually require more time. But when home staging, we are talking about, okay, maximizing the investment, ROI, and also capital gain. Okay, now the following are all not side by side already. Okay, of course, renovation, you're talking about sometimes I hack here, change a wall, reduce a room or whatsoever. For home staging, we usually don't go into that. Okay, for me, it's less expenses. And okay, if you see this part, this is actually a more important one. local area market study. You might be thinking that I'm not a market study person. When you're an investor, you have no choice. You just need to do the local area market study before you even go in further into talking about what to do for your home. Okay, so I will explain more into that part of it. Holistic approach for property investor. Basically, if you look at renovation, it's only one part of it. I will call it during. I have every process that I do, I have a pre, during, and post. So renovation only means that it's actually during, that's all. But when it comes to home staging, there are a lot more work. Then again, the question is that, why do I have to do so much work? You want high rental or not? That's my question, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, in my company, there are 4 things that we focus on. Number 1 is to increase your rental rate. Okay, so but what if sometimes rental rate just so bad that because a lot of people throwing price of too many units, the demand is not very high. So what do you aim to do? For me will be, if the rental have to be the same, then I want to reduce the vacancy. Means that if there are a few units there are many units in the market, people will choose my unit first over my neighbor's unit. Okay, so that is to reduce the vacancy. Sometimes it's not just about getting the 100 ringgit more in your rental, but it's actually to rent out first. Every month is a cost. Every month of vacancy is a cost. And these costs sometimes are enough to cost you the whole renovation. Okay, so of course, when we talk about attract good tenant with good profile, so like always like people, what is good profile? Pay you money, pay you rental on time, take care of your home. I think property owners are very easy to please. Just these 2, I think everyone will be very happy already. So, but the thing is that sometimes the market is so bad. Can you choose that? You don't want to talk about choosing. There's some of the, even I face market that some of that market is so bad. Anybody who offer me, I say, okay. Very, it's kind of sad in these few years. That's why we have to do something. Now, for some of the property, I do get to choose. I will say that these 3, okay, I will tell the agent that I don't prefer that profile. Okay, this one, pay me 6 months advance. Okay, I take. Okay, so that's what I mean by you are able to make the choice. Okay, of course, if anyone that you are just talking about, the rental is not good enough, because some of you might think that I want to sell in future. Yes, we factor into that also. We are looking at increasing your property value. Okay, so you I would like to clarify a little bit regarding the home staging. If you Google home staging, you come up really a lot of different definitions when it comes to that. So like I have a friend who said that, Koon, home staging isn't it just for sale? Why are you doing it for rental? Yeah, I say, well, that is for some of them. But for me, my home staging for this market, for the current market, I use the same fundamental for rental. And I was able to do, I am able to do that over and over. So let me share more about it. Okay. So now, okay. As I mentioned earlier, I have 3 steps in my home staging part: pre, during, post. Okay. All these, and most of you might think that, wow, the during part must be the most tedious. I can tell you that is actually the least. Okay. So what is the step when it comes to pre? Number 1, tenant market analysis. Okay. My step 2 will be, okay, everything you have to plan your finances right. It doesn't come, the money for the renovation or even engaging a property agent or property manager doesn't come from the sky. Okay. And then, okay, this is the step 3 will be stage your property. Then the last part of it will be, what is your age? My step 4. And the last will be flaunt it. Okay. If you look at it, the during part is only 1 step compared to the other two pre and post. That's what we meant about the home staging is more holistic approach compared to just a renovation. Because the renovation, you are looking at step 3 only. Maybe you just stage your property, but I'm just using stage your property because renovation doesn't cover everything. Okay, now I will go straight into step 1. Okay, do you know who you're renting to? People buy property. Sometimes like when they come to me and ask that, I will ask them, do you know who you're renting to? They will be, never thought about it. Who cares? Anyone will do. That is the number one failure. Why people are not able to get the rent tenant that they want, or to even get the right property, the rental, because they don't give a face to the tenant. Everyone thought that tenants are faceless. It's okay, the agent will handle. They don't care who they are. It's the landlord has no heart for the tenant. I very much believe into taking care of my customer. My tenant is like my customer. They are the number one people that I want to know who are they before I even do anything. Or I will just do something that knowing who they are, what they want, prepare everything and just bring it on a silver platter to them. Hi, tenant, do you want to rent my place? So this is what I will do. So that's why the number one thing about tenant, you just need to ask, do you know who you're renting to? So who is your tenant? Of course, most of the time you're talking about human and people, right? So I assume that everyone here are looking of having a human tenant. So you can see from the picture, they are from all walk. You can be blue collar, you can be white collar, student, worker, but are they all the same? Do they want the same thing? Is it like when you do for a home for a doctor, is it same as another one who work at a construction site? Many of us don't ask this question. So we just will be asking, hey, that agent now, why never bring me the doctor tenant? When you look at the house that landlord did, which doctor will want to come and stay? And then some of the, this one applies to both sides. Sometimes the owner will say that, I decorated until so good and it's in the very low cost area. I tell you, the worker that you want to rent to will be intimidated to walk into your home because they don't feel at home. So doesn't mean that luxurious means good for everybody, and like just a simple house means that no good for everybody. So still back to, who is your tenant? Worker, professional, student, family, income level. Then you'll be asking how to find out. That is where you ask your agent, you check the local surrounding, what kind of pricing, and what are people renting. Cannot be shucks and leery. Like, people rent 1,000, I want 5,000. I'm sorry, I have never achieved that. So if someone who can do that, you share with me. I would like to learn also, okay? So another thing to assess will be, are you talking about long-term, mid-term, short-term? You know, like what every developer and also some of the buyers that come to me can do Airbnb. Or the developer have a Soho or whatever, they straight away say that can do Airbnb. Is this the solution? You don't even know that the market whether can support short-term stay or not. So again, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about long-term, mid-term, or short-term. The number one thing is actually to find your own niche market. Okay, that means that you have to find your blue ocean. Don't get into a property that everyone aim for the same unless it's big enough. Unless you're talking about the population of 10,000 students there and only 1,000 housing. That one you don't need to think. Just follow the crowd and just go into the student market. But if you're talking about you have only 1,000 students and the student houses there already 2,000. And you have a group of workers that not taken care of. So which one will you aim for? You always want the one to be the property that being demanded, not oversupply. So actually supply and demand answer everything, okay? Step 2, plan your finances. So what is the cost to stage your property? Have you thought about that? Is the money doesn't fall from the sky, or maybe from some of you, yes, but for me, I have to plan for all these costs. And sometimes planning the cost doesn't mean that always go for the most expensive means that good. Every house must be ID like what the photos that I'm going to show you later. Not, you just have to know, plan. If you plan to do just a painting, fine. It is so fine also if you study your area there, don't need to do much, just need to paint the house. Fine. So plan the cost and also where to get the money. Okay. Number 1, I can help you to estimate. But the number 2, where to get the money, you will have to think for yourself. I don't provide loan. I don't have even pharma fund or any fund to share with you. Okay. So what is the home staging cost estimation? Okay. I have a formula. Okay. My formula is so simple that anyone will be able to find out. Okay. What is partially furnished? I think most of you here, I focus on at the moment like partially to the ID unit first. Okay, partially furnished property means that sometimes developer, we talk about residential, I'm not touching about anything on commercial today. Partially furnished property means that developer might have already provided you with aircon, kitchen cabinet, maybe water heater, and also some of the thing like the flooring definitely done. So these are what I call partially furnished. Okay, basic property sometimes means that nothing. It happens to a lot of Soho on Soho, that kind of property, which developer don't even provide any. You basically you go in, you don't see aircon, but you just see a sink. Okay, so I will put it as the first one is 5 to 8%. The second one will be 10 to 12% of the purchase price. Okay, to make things simpler, I know a lot of you have gotten your price way below market price. Congratulations. But my purchase price here means just take your SBA. Okay, very simple. Take your sales and purchase price. This is my benchmark for the home staging cost so far. So if you buy a property, you don't need to go into too details into calculating this. This is a basic. Okay, all right. Now, I would like to bring up again, home staging is not interior design. Okay, just like I'm not an interior designer. So there are many more interior designers that are better than our team. I do have my in-house designer, okay, by the way. So there are types that if you're talking about all these lists that I put down, basic furnishing, fully furnished, ID furnished, painting, cabinetry, cleaning, even just decluttering is actually a form of home staging. So it's different from interior designer. So my definition will be also anything which add values to your property to attract your targeted market. So I don't care whether it's just by cleaning up the unit. If that can bring you tenant, that is good enough. Not every unit needs to be fully furnished. Okay, I repeat again, not every property need to be fully furnished. That is not the purpose. Sometimes you fully furnish, you might not get the tenant that you want. So again, back to who is your tenant, what they want, you have to understand first. Okay, now I would like to give a little bit of comparison of an investment. This is my own investment, which I will use a word. Me and my partner very itchy backside. When we buy property, we like to experiment. Okay, so some of you might hear about these summer suites, which I purchased at many years ago at 480,000. Okay, so 584. The condition is partially furnished with kitchen cabinet, plaster ceiling, and fridge. So this is already most of it have done. Okay, so what I have done is I do have two exactly similar units at just at two different floors, upper and lower, that's all. So I tested out the market. Okay, I have one that I decorated based on basic, another one on ID. And that market, if you know that summer suite, where is it? It's actually walking distance to KLCC. It's just behind Renaissance Hotel. So that means that it actually has expatriate market. Okay, but many of the owner are talking about they don't want to do much. So I did test it out and I learned my heavy lesson also. Okay, so what is the basic unit rental? I rented out at 2002, and the foolish ID unit I rented out at 3,000. So what is the difference? You make the calculation. So how much I put in? Okay, in total, before I go into that, okay, my annual rental will be 26,000 and 36,000. HS here, capex means that home staging, home staging capital expenditure. Okay, so just to make it short. Okay, this one basic unit, I also need to spend 15,000 because I still need to provide a washing machine and some bed and some lighting. So because the developer doesn't provide lighting, after the whole thing done, I will still need to spend about 15,000 for the very basic furnish and nothing much. Okay, I thought that I have I was very smart for doing that because my basic unit came out first. So I rented out quite fast, 2 months before this ID unit. Okay, and the ID unit, I spent 30,000. I say, never mind. I talked to my partner, say like, let's experiment this market because it's also a market that which I have many owners that who purchased through me previously. Okay, now my purchase price plus my home staging cost in total cost me 495 and 510 here. Can you calculate for me like how much is the difference in terms of these two? You look at it, and the thing is, my ID unit, after 3 years changing of 2 tenants, I hardly spend anything to redo. I never even need to paint it because my tenants are tip-top. My tenants are just the best tenant that in the world that pay me on time, and my vacancy is less than 10 days. That is for the ID unit. But my basic unit, after 1.5 years, the tenant moved out. I went into the place. I didn't take the picture because I cannot bear to have that kind of picture in my phone. Imagine that going into the bathroom, you feel like someone never washed a bathroom for 1.5 years. Like any creepy crawly also can come out that kind. So I spent another 40,000 in renovating the basic unit with a 4 months vacancy because earlier I was busy. So compared to all these, I have learned my lesson that compared to these two units, both also home staging, but the thing is that I didn't study the market properly. I know who my tenant, but I follow the majority of the crowd in doing the basic unit. Okay, so in the end, you are talking about, let's say side by side, we look at the numbers only, just crunching numbers. You look at the difference, 9,006 1 year. 3 years, I make back my 30,000 already. And now I don't even talk about the vacancy 4 months that I lost. Okay, so, and the difference for here is only 15,000 for the overall. This one, the 9,006 times 3, I easily get another 30,000 into covering to make it full. Okay, so this was the unit that I was doing. And this unit till today, I have not done anything different. Okay, then after that, exactly the same unit, we did another one and it was rented out. The one that was very bad condition, we do it. And after that, we rented out within 5 days. Okay, that was for this property. Okay, let's see. Okay, case study 2. This one a quick one because I'm a little bit concerned on the time. I did another one in Utropolis, Glamoury. Okay, the price at time was about 300,000. Okay, a lot of the agent there told me, Koon, rent to student only because it's next to KDU. Rent to student only, no need to do much one. Why you spend so much money in doing it? I spent less than 10,000. I can rent it out already. So just put lighting, put the cheap bed, even the mattress. Give them. Just a cheap one will do. I disagree with that because in front of the Glamoury Utropolis, there is an untapped market that we saw. And that's exactly where if you know Glen Marie, the industrial area there, but it's a lot of HQ of big companies and their HQ are there. So I want to target different market, not just students. Even students is okay, but students who will take care of the place, not just about the rental. So you see the difference in terms of how much is the rental increase. Till today, there are still people who cannot rent out, even 800. But we have constantly rent out at 1,006. This project, I have done about, I think, 30 over units over there. All my highest rental to date is 1,008 for the same unit. And you see the increase in terms of the rental yield, 2.55%. All the tenants, when they move out, we just do quite a minimal touching up that will actually help. So these are the Utropolis that I was talking about. So studio for rent, you can see that this is what we have done for that unit. And again, even though layout might be the same, totally same, but we have different team. So we have all those kind of named by the owner. Every of the property that we have done up for the premium ID will actually have a name, and I will give them a birth cert. What you are seeing is actually the birth cert. So, and also a web page. Okay, all right. Now let me go into the important step that people thought at this stage of property. So again, I will always ask the same thing only. What are you offering to your tenant? If you don't know what to do, you just think about this. What my tenant is engineer. Okay, targeting about 30 to 40 years old, maybe. So what do they like? You have to ask yourself, what are their benefits staying in my unit? Okay, is it going to be a premium interior design? Okay, fully furnished, facilities. What are the facilities that I can highlight? Should I give them new furniture, fully equipped with all the fridge, all the TV box and everything? So you have to ask yourself this, okay? I will share 5 tips. Sometimes these 5 tips does not cost too much of the money, okay, in terms of that. Okay, number 1, you have to deliver this wow factor. There is no shortcut. Everyone that come to your place, you need to create a kind of thing that I want to stay here. It's not about money anymore. So this place is for me. Okay, so this is the number 1 thing that you have to deliver. So again, to deliver doesn't mean that you have to look cheap. Even I say that it can be cheap. So why I showed this sofa, I didn't take the After Effects sofa. I bought exactly this sofa. Okay, I don't want to mention like where is the company from. I think some of you might know. 3 months later, it became a smiley sofa because it's already walk in already. So, and I have to change it after a year, and taking my time and taking also the effort in arranging it for it. And somehow it doesn't give me that kind of knowledge. Okay, so be practical on your expenditure, but do not compromise on the aesthetic of the design if you're going for fully furnished with ID. Okay, so you just have to be balanced in that. It can be cheap, but don't look cheap lah. Okay, all right. So now, universal appeal. What is a universal? That doesn't mean that everyone look the same. Everyone that just walk like a robot, all the same. Okay, yeah, you can. We are using modern design nowadays, but imagine that someone offered to you like this kind of look. You say that, oh, I need to be outstanding. Couldn't say that I need to be outstanding. So I have a Batman cave. I have like all the kind of different color. This is a no, because you might get 1 customer, but you lost another 1,000. Believe me. So don't go for this kind. So go for this kind of approach. Okay, modern yet with a subtle touch. So this one always appeal. This is one of it that some of the agents have been using my photo to get to, even we rented out already, but they are still using the photo to attract their tenant over. Okay, so you have to have a universal appeal when it comes to that. Don't be having a Batman cave for your property unless you want to do the Japan Love Hotel. Okay, so this is a no-no. Okay, number 4, okay, that is one thing that sometimes people ask, why do you put so many small things in there? All these are very choteng, collecting dust. So, but the thing is that without that, your property will look like a hospital. Even now, hospital people put flower, right? And also people put some decoration, some soft touch. It's no longer like just like nothing. So sometimes you can use books, you can use a cushion, small little things. Go and shop a little bit for this kind of thing. You want to go to some shops, I think there are many in town now where you can get to buy all this kind of decorative stuff. All these will give a feeling that they are home. Don't leave your place empty. Oh yeah, okay. Since I'm looking at this picture, can you see that? Some of the thing that I put at the back there. See all these. These are all my the plush. These are all my mascot that we actually leave it at some of left it at some of our stage unit. Sometimes it actually draw a smile to the tenant. Whatever you do, it's just that they must feel at home. So just throw something around. Okay, all right. Even like books is my best tool when it comes to that. So find your plot. Okay, now talk about cheapest way of home staging. Sometimes people thought that home staging means that I have to spend like 20, 30,000. You know your house better. Okay, your property. If you're going to ask someone to market your house, please do not leave it like the one on the left. No one will want to, when they walk in, compare to one on the right. Okay, these photos are not from me. So, but it's actually there's someone that I plugged somewhere in. Okay, now, lastly, not lastly yet, step number 4. Now I'm going into like the home staging part. They are the renovation part. You can do many things. Okay, but today I would like to also focus on other things because of the time constraint, 45 minutes. Step 4, what is your age? If everyone today also do fully renovation, ID. So what is your age? What is your age that you will do out? Okay, number 1 thing. People got 40 inches TV. If you see that everyone is putting that, and that is a market that for expatriate, I think you better put a bigger TV. Some ideas, okay? Provide Wi-Fi. Cleaner service. Cleaner is actually my spy also. They take care of the units and make sure that the tenant doesn't really mess up the place. Okay, maybe you even want to provide a butler. Okay, or smart lock is also another tool of mine. Okay, or maybe some Grab voucher. Give some Grab food to the tenant. You know, all these things might think that is very trivial, but you are communicating with your tenant. So when you, of course, you can provide spa voucher or even have a jacuzzi in the home. So these are the things that will give you an edge. But the best thing you could do is being a nice landlord and landlady. That one doesn't cost you much. Okay, sometimes like your tenant, don't think of it like, I have clients who think that their tenant is like out there to damage their place. Every tenant seems bad. And I guarantee you, if you have that kind of thought, yes, you will get that kind of tenant. But if just being nice landlord and landlady when it comes to that. So this smile doesn't cost. Okay, right? Find your edge. Why? Because like anyone else, the tenant will be always asking, what is in it for me to rent your place? What is in it? Why do I need to rent your place? I have many choices. Some say that don't need deposit one. Some say that cheaper because the place is so bad that I need to throw price. So this is always a burning question in all your tenants who want to rent your place. And with this, we firm, you basically answer everything about how to get a good tenant. Because when you think about that, they will also know what are all the small things that you put in your unit counts. Okay, how you handle them counts. So sometimes not everything costs money, but it just costs some effort. Okay, now you have everything already. Okay, but some people, they decorated the place until so nice, but what they do? They don't have good photos. They don't have a marketing tools. Okay, how to make it attractive for property agent to prioritize in renting your place. Okay, so again, I am a real estate agent, but most of the time, all my property that the agent helped me to rent out, I give full commission. Not only that, I give them better. So what does it mean? Yes, I did. Do you need to deliver a hassle-free unit to the agent? Would they prioritize based on that? Yes, of course. Agents are also human. If the unit that they don't need to do much and can rent out, would they do it? Would they prioritize you? Advertisement cost is expensive for the agent. They want to put on an iProperty, it's not cheap. Some advertisement can cost them 200-300 just for one, maybe just 1 week or less. So if they want to put you at a priority, you need to give them a hassle-free unit that will be everything in. Friendly landlord, yes. Don't be so stuck up because now you actually need the agent to help you out here. Okay, higher commission, sometimes yes, sometimes no. So higher commission can mean that, okay, you rent out for me at certain price. Maybe I can offer a higher commission, or maybe for a longer term, which I will do that. Okay, marketing materials, you'll be asking, I'm landlord, well, why should I prepare any marketing materials for the agent to do? That's why my unit can be rented out first, because I prepare everything for the agent. They don't need to do everything. Okay, so usually I do all this, not only one. Okay, so I will share with you so far our secret weapon. Okay, put a little bit of drum roll. Okay, you see this brochure and the photos? My photos are taken by professional photographer, not those kind that just take your toilet bowl and show that they are toilet in the unit. Okay, you know what I mean. And some of the agents who help you, most agents are not photographer. You know, like how Airbnb, when you go for Airbnb, do you know the brand? They are not like Hilton. They are not like Four Seasons. You don't know the brand. What makes you think that you want to bring your family there to stay? Number one, you look at the photos first, right? And you read the review. So if the photos and review, okay, this one you say on lah. This is according to my budget also. So the same thing. When agents want to advertise, we give them the photos by the photographer. So we already save them. Don't need to go to the site to see first. Also, never mind. Okay, photographer already done. Okay, oops, got typo there. Marketing brochure for agent. We have done up like that. Do I put my contact there? You look at this. No, I don't put any contact there because I expect the agent to help me to distribute this and write their number there. I don't want the tenant to come and look for me and undercut the agent. The number one thing the agent very pantang is actually undercutting. Undercut by owner is very painful. So if you want your agent to work very hard for you, you have to take care of them. So the two things that I always use is actually based on photos is the number one. And I really hire the professional photographer in taking for my client also. Okay. So if all this is too much for you, keep calm, relax, and hire a home stager. Advertisement time. All right, so let me repeat a little bit. My step 1, tenant market analysis. Step 2, plan your finances. Stage your property. Step 3, step 4 will be finding what is your edge. And step 5 will be flaunt it. These are the things that I have been doing. Okay, now my investment cycle again. After I done up the stage of place, what I'll do is actually engage a good realtor and also start. Sometimes the realtor can be also property manager. Okay, normally for some of different people will have a different need. If you are, I will say that, put it this way, if you are going for long term, you engage a good realtor okay, for if you need to rent out as an Airbnb or even a midterm, like say that 3 months, 6 months, you have to engage a property manager at the same time, so that your property manager can engage a good realtor for you. They'll be taking care of for you. So for me, even my long-term properties, I'm an agent, but I don't have time to take care of my own properties. I'm taking care of my client's property. So in the end, I actually pass to my property manager, even for the long term, helping me to settle all the bills and things like that before passing the rental to me. Okay. So if you are group investors, please, please, please. You know, sometimes if you got 5 partners, doesn't mean that all 5 partners will work equally. In the end, the property will be left unattended because everyone will be asking, what should I do? You should go and do it. What should I do? We also invest, we all invest same thing. So in the end, no ownership. So get a property manager. If you are overseas investors, this one, no need to mention, you definitely need for that. All right. So engaging professional. You want a Avenger team like that for you to save time, save costs, and also focus on the investment, not on the work, because we want passive income. Okay, so make sure that you reward your professional. If you pay peanuts, what do you get? Yeah, it's a monkey business if you get that. Okay, make sure that you engage a professional. Okay, so again, I will close by. This is my cycle, the 5 steps that I've been doing for investment, and also like each step what I am doing. Okay, now bonus time. This is a bonus that what I will do. In fact, bonus on being how to be a lucky owner. I've been with my partner together. We are very lucky owner. When people rent out at 3,000 to 4,000, let's say there's one that in a house in Cyberjaya, people are renting 3,500 to 4,000. I've been constantly renting out at 6,000 to 7,000 kind of price. How to be a lucky owner. This is a bonus. I don't have any other special thing. I only have one thing only, which I think I have emphasized from the beginning. You must always have the tenant interest in your heart and not a fake one. All these you will see that in the long term, how they will give you back the loyalty. So the value that you give to them will not be wasted one. This is so far the one thing that I always been doing. Okay, I share something with you on some of my successful home staging cases. Ian, we still have time on that?
Yeah, of course, sure. Proceed.
Yeah, I can't really hear you.
Yes, of course. I just proceed.
Cannot hear you.
Cannot. Yeah, just continue.
Can't hear. Yeah. Yeah, Ian.
Carry on.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is my recent case. Something that I'm very proud of, and also so happy for my owner. Okay. This owner has 4 units that come to us. So you can see that on the left side, Azure Residence is at Paradigm Mall. It's just next to Paradigm Mall. It's a joining building. On the left is a before. This is what we have done after that. And also, like you can see the room. On the left is a before. The right is a after. Then this one. Okay. Again, is the left and the right. Okay. These are also the photos and also the brochure that we have prepared. You can see the 4 unit is actually based on 4 seasons that we have done, because this owner actually have 4 babies, I will say that. Yeah, so her quad. So what make me excited is not about how it is only. I will share with you. These are the 2 advertisements that other units have exactly the same layout, and what they have done. They put up the rental of 2004 to 2008. And there's one very active agent there that say that the highest rental that he has done is 3,000 for the same unit, slightly bigger in fact. So you can see that this is 1,000 square feet and our unit is actually 900 square feet. Okay, so what are the rental that rent out within a month? 4 units are out. Hey, sorry, I repeated this. Okay, you can see the 4 prices that we have rented out within a month. And in fact, it's actually 3,006 all. There's 1 unit that's 3,005, and that tenant offer 1 year advance rental to the owner. So this is something that I am really very happy for her, because it's not also our as a home stager, but she knows how to manage the agent. That would be another topic already. Even to manage agent is something. Okay, so this is in J. Dupion property in Cheras. This is a before photo, and this is the after photo that we have done up. Okay, again, like this is a before, and this is the after photo. Okay, you can see that what are the rental that other units compare. Okay, let's say today you are tenant looking for house in Cheras, near to the area, J. Dupion. You come across many advertisement. You tell me which will be the one that caught your eye out of these 4. Even though advertised at a higher price, we still have a lot of calls for that. Rent out at 2007 after that, because the tenant move in immediately. Okay, so now this is also what we have prepared for the 2 different units. One have been using as Airbnb, so 1 unit are rented out. Some are still under the renovation at the moment. Okay, this is something that I've done for a developer, Saruni at Serenda. Okay, sometimes it can be really at a very bad. This one need a little bit more cosmetic, beyond cosmetic surgery already lah. Huh? This one plastic surgery needed. Okay, this is what we have done. You see it on the left hand side. Bunbung, the roof also tak ada. So it was actually very bad condition. You can see that. So this is what we have done up. It's actually for the developer showroom. Okay, so see, it's not only that I show you the picture of how we have done. Even the picture that taken by a photographer is actually a little bit different. You can see that. Okay, this was what happened in the room. And the after effect. Okay, now this is earlier I was telling you the Utropolis. Okay, now this is 1,006 that we have rented out, and this is 800. Compared to the 800, there's still many vacancy, but people still go for the 1,006. Okay, rental increased by 100%. So over at this project, we actually have done I have 9 themes in that. Everyone 447 square feet. So what we think that we don't want every owner to become their fellow competitors. What we want is a group of owner work to increase the rental together, hold the prices. So that's why I call myself the Property Rental Disruptor. So basically, if I have only 1 or 2 units, it's very hard to control or manage the market price, because all agents will come to me and say that, hey, can I rent out one? Don't think so much, don't drink so much. So, but if we have a group of owner, enough units to disrupt the market price, and everyone hold on to it, don't throw prices. And because the agents are using all our photos only, we know if there is anything wrong, our people will also monitor sometimes the agent will tell us that someone is advertising lower, because we already told the agent you cannot advertise low, must be at everyone same price, everyone control. So only 1 price or 2 prices up. So they listen. So, but there will be 1 or 2 that don't listen, those kind. So the other agents will report to us. They're almost like, teacher, someone never follow rule. or they will start to report this kind of thing. That's how we are able to increase the rental from 800 to 1,006. Other units are renting out fully furnished also around 1,000, 2,003 only. Till today, there will still be agents that tell us that you cannot get it one, but I have proof over. This is a third renewal already. This is a third renewal that we have just done, and it's still renting out at 1,006. Okay, so I think that's all ready for my presentation. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Yes, and once again, thank you so much, Ms. T.Y. Koon, for your invaluable... Koon lah. Okay, so Ms. Koon for such a wonderful presentation, which contains a lot of gems of wisdom on how to actually increase your rental rate. And more importantly, of course, is not just about increasing rental rate, but also to reduce the vacancy rate. And with that, you can actually increase your property value. So right now we are going into the Q&A session, but of course, if you have any Q&A, if you have any questions, just type it into the Q&A box, and I will monitor it. And before I get into the Q&A session, of course, if you have any sort of questions, or you really want to like engage the staging team, or you really want to inquire how they work and stuff like that, you can actually contact them via the stagingteam.my@gmail.com, or you can actually check out their work, their artwork. Basically, it's not just an artwork, but of course, their success stories in terms of how they actually increase the property value of other property owners. You can check out their Facebook page, which is the stagingteam.my. So let me just put that in the chat box so that you can actually go ahead and check it out. Is it the stagingteam.my, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or should I refresh? The staging team. So this is Facebook, right?
No. It has also the. Let me see. Also,
let me just find you the book.
Yeah. It's a link. It just has some photos lah. Yeah, the other one is actually the Facebook.
So let me just somehow get the link. Okay, Facebook. So I'm gonna put it into the chat box so everyone can actually, have a good look at the artwork done by the staging team. So yep, you can do that. And right now, let's get into the Q&A session. Okay, so let me see. So we have the first question from Ellie, and here's what she asked. So you mentioned, Koon, you have mentioned about giving cleaning services, Grab food, vouchers, and stuff like that. So basically, the question is, at which point do you tell your potential tenant about these freebies? Do you tell them upfront, or where's the best time?
There is no right or wrong here. Okay, as I always mention that dealing with the tenant is a form of communication. Sometimes we communicate through the agent, and sometimes we meet the tenant ourselves. So why we do that is why we provide this kind of special service, and even like Grab food vouchers and things like that. Number one thing, we don't do without reason. Not just because I'm nice, I just every day I go and bake a cake and pass to you. No. Very objective, we are investor. You don't want to do the good neighborhood kind of thing only. Okay, so number one, I will do it sometimes to make it different. Let's say Wi-Fi. Of course, you mentioned in there, no one provide Wi-Fi. I provide Wi-Fi. I renewal. So this is what the people always say, right? So if you are providing cleaning service, you can already tell the tenant, through the agent that you will be providing. Okay, sometimes as a good faith, okay, I do have a tenant who rent a house at say 7,000 from me. What I do? Near to Christmas, I decorate a Christmas tree before they move in. I give them what do you call that? Red wine, that because as a Westerner, but don't go and give a red wine to a Muslim house. Okay, that one is you are not respectful. Just do this kind of thing. So why do I do that? They already pay me. They're going in already. When people are friendly to you, they will take care of your home more than stranger. So anytime like they want to do something bad to your house, they will think twice. Oh, this owner very nice, and so I take care of their home. So it's up to you. So this kind of grab food vouchers and things like that can be more into like welcoming gift. I gave a fruit basket before because it's a house that with a Muslim like coming in. I gave a certain thing like, as I mentioned, Christmas tree, red wine, chocolate, all these things actually to tell the tenant that welcome to my home. I hope that you have a good stay. So underline is like, please take care of my home also lah. So no fixed point. Whenever you feel like being nice. Okay, so that will be my answer.
Okay, so next question is, this one is posted by Avinder Singh. So Avinder asks, I have a place in Kiara. However, what is the average cost do you need to revamp the condo? Okay, sometimes, so he stated that sometimes people complain that my furniture is old, all right? But the problem is about the seed money to do it up can be expensive. So how do you go about when it comes to this?
This is like, there are actually a few questions in here. Because number one, I don't even know how big is that condo, so I cannot answer that. It can be 2,000 square feet, or it can be especially for Mont Kiara, it can be a 4,000 square feet, or it can be a 400 square feet. So it will be a totally different. So I will not, I won't try to answer that part of it, average cost. So that's why earlier I provide the rule of thumb for using that. Okay, when you talk about revamping, you know, sometimes revamping can be more expensive than doing just from a new condo, because you need to do a lot of touching up. Okay, but we have done one unit that in KL that is actually basically because it's our regular client on that. Just to change a little bit on the setting, redecoration only. Okay, basically we don't change much. What that owner has done, she provide all the good things, but she doesn't know how to match it. So we do the soft touches only, just redecorating it, putting some of the decorative stuff in, move some of the thing away, then that's it. So when you mentioned about answer back to the question, sometimes people complain my furniture is old, right? You mentioned. Okay, Kiara, Mont Kiara, I presume, is a very competitive place. If you do not look into it, it's very hard to rent out. You have to look into really revamping it. Okay, if some of the thing that is really old already, then it's time to change. Okay, so far I've not used for those kind of high-end condo using my house furniture to put into that. All my tenants use a newer thing than my own home. So I know that many owners who will just like downgrade from their home to there. So if it's not suitable for the market, it's better that you just do a new one. Otherwise, it costs you your rental.
Okay, so what I believe is this, because I see quite a number of questions relating to cost. But I suppose the whole objective here is it's not to just be very cost minded, but more importantly, I think it's about the return on investment. All right, so it's not just about spending money, it's about whether this money spent will be efficiently, whether or not you can actually get tenants efficiently, and not just the tenants, but better tenants at a better rate. So it's all, so in that sense, you may also want to look into the ROI aspect when you actually shop around with all these this property staging or property management kind of thing. All right, but of course, Avinder says thanks. By the way, his unit is 1,004 square foot. All right. So
Okay. All right.
okay.
Mont Kiara has a very big market when it comes to the rental. So for me to answer that, actually, I think as an owner, you will know better what is a market rental there, and just base a cost of whether it's worth it for you to do that. If you don't do that, if you do that, what will you get? If you don't do, how much would you lose? Can you afford to lose that money? And the money that you're going to lose can put back into adding value or not? That is usually how I'll calculate. It's just like one of my clients who left the house empty for 3 years. Each month, even if he rent out at a 4,000, okay, which it has a market there, 1 year is 36,000. 3 years is 100 over 1,000, right? This is a 4th year already. He would have already got back the cost, the money already for his renovation. So we have to calculate in the vacancy. So sometimes it's not just how much you put in only, it's how much you're going to lose.
So that's why it's best to do. That's why it's all about assessing both the cost side and as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And okay, the next question is, of course, it's again about cost. But then, wait, before I move into that question, there's one. Just want to know about your comment. This was by John Feng. So it says, no matter how good is your property, if your location is lousy, then it's too bad. So which means, if the location of the property is no good, no matter how you do the home staging, right, it doesn't change anything. Is that true or is that false? So what's your take on this?
Hi, John. Okay, what I would say that you are right, but doesn't mean that you have to do nothing. If I have made a mistake in buying a lousy property, which I have done, okay, so long that the place still there's somebody willing to rent, I still have hope. That's the best thing about property investment, isn't it? You can always do something. You can always do something. It's not saying like I'm not a stock market person, so I would not know what to do if, let's say, the share that I bought dip the price. I'll just be waiting there. So, but when it comes to property, there's something that I can do. I can at least do something, even just a paint or cleaning up to make it look better than the next door. It's already a plus, because when everyone already gave up, you will still have hope if you actually focus into your property. Let me take example as Bukit Beruntung. How many abandoned properties there? But are there some units that rented out? Are there units that not being broken into, take everything? It's still in good condition? Because the owner actually do something about it. So being a property investor, that's the best news. No matter how bad, so long that you have a property there, you can do something. So yes, you are right, okay? But if you do nothing, you are going down. So still have to do something. That will be my answer.
Okay. So of course, here's another question. This one is by Pony. So Pony has a property in Semenyih.
Semenyih.
Majestic. Okay. Majestic Semenyih. Trying to sell it for the past 2 years, but not successful. It's a double-story house, 4 room, 4 baths, 2,600 square foot. So how to go about staging it, and what's the average staging cost?
Okay, Pony. Hi, Pony. I would not be able to answer this question because, as I say, when we start, there's a reason why when I go into a project, I don't go by one unit unless I'm very familiar with that area. So I will always still need to study that area, see what is a rental demand. Let's say it's a 4-story house, right? 4
bath.
4 room, 4 bath, 2-story house. Okay. When you talk about house, you could never match the rental. Usually, not always, but usually. So whatever that you put in, you will have to calculate again whether is it to sustain first for now before selling off. Okay. sometimes the staging part doesn't mean that you have to do fully furnished, as I've mentioned. Okay, look at what are the surrounding, who are the tenants first. What kind of seller will be there? So these are the questions that I will not be able to answer how much cost to put in. So I won't have an answer for that now until we look into that market and go through the whole analysis. Otherwise, I'll be recommending the wrong thing.
Okay. So there's one more question is that just now you mentioned that you need to have a certain volume, right? So
Yeah.
Tan Lang, is it Mr. Tan Lang or anyway, Tan Lang asked this question. How many units do you need so that getting a staging team is worth it?
So far, I will usually start with 5. If there's 5 units, there's something that at least I can discuss with the owner to analyze the market first to know that whether it's worth doing or not. There are times that actually we ask the owner, you don't need to engage us. You can just do something about it. So not always that we will go in.
Okay. So another question is that, all right, this one is locational based. But maybe you just see whether you got any input. This one is about staging team, but I know you're based in the Klang Valley. There's all these things, right? Does this apply in condos in Iskandar Putri? But that's in Badini.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like this kind of concept, it applies anywhere in the world. Okay, but for us, we don't go to Iskandar at the moment. My own properties in Iskandar, I ask another person to do. I also engage the people there to do.
Okay. So how about, this one is from John Feng again. So he said, how about vacant land? How do you make vacant lands more marketable? This one a
vacant land. Okay, vacant land is not so much about. That's why today I say I'm focusing on residential. Vacant land, look at agent. It's an advertising method already. Actually, you know what can be done? Clean up the place. Make sure that you don't have. You make sure that you can see where is the land. So if you are able to access into it, yes, you actually can do something.
Okay.
Cut grass.
I see. Cut grass, no lalang.
Yeah. No lalang.
I see. Okay, last question before we let Miss Koon off the hook. And
before that, I thought a little bit, just sidetrack a little bit on the land part of it. There's actually a way to increase the value. Okay, we call that the placemaking initiative. If you look at Jalan Ampang, that side, the container, what do you call that? Not container, sorry. Is it the food truck?
Okay.
Yeah. So many places that sometimes you see a certain thing that temporary the developer is putting up before their development. So look into placemaking initiative.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So we have one more question.
Okay.
Then off we go for makan.
Okay.
And it's from Norizan. So she's asked. So she asked the question: how to carry out research to find out who is your potential customer?
Your number one good friend is yourself. When you buy the property, what do you have in mind? Think about that first, okay? So you don't buy for no reason. Sometimes we need to revisit what do we see in that property. And then maybe we think of it as, I thought wrongly, the agent told me that last time got a LRT coming in, now the LRT cancelled, now I cannot do anything already, and the place is like, all these are negative thoughts and it's not going to help. So you go back to ask yourself, why did I buy the property? So then the number 2 thing will be, still will go back to your friendly agents, surrounding agents. I will call up the agents surrounding. You go into iProperty, go into Property Guru, Prop War Star. It's countless. Look for the surrounding agents. Call them one by one to ask, like, who are your tenants? I do that. I just call them and I just Google around and check that what are most people, what are they offering? So from there, I will just even sometimes I go to that area there, go to the kopitiam or the restaurant or mama, sit down to watch people to see who are they. So I find my clue from there. If day in and day out, I see that they are all workers. Okay, I know who to do that. Then I go into the advertisement and see that most people are targeting luxurious. And this is not even a luxurious market. I will know what to do already. So if let's say I look at that, wow, all white collar, all like big cars and things like that, but my place is in Mont Kiara, but I use all the cheap stuff. So sorry, that means I totally mismatch. So that's why to go back to it, ask yourself, ask around the agents that marketing that area. Don't look at KLCC property and go and ask Cyberjaya agent. Okay, they won't be able to tell you. Or don't even ask me because I'm not an expert for all. Okay, so ask the local expert agents and look at all the advertisement. What are people offering? From there, you come out with your strategy. That will be my what I will do.
I see. Okay, so with that, we have ended the session. So thank you so much for your participation. And of course, once again, thank you so much, T.Y. Koon, for spending like nearly 90 minutes of your time with us. Hopefully, we can get you back sometime in the future. And of course, for the month of December, we have lined up quite a number of webinars for you guys. And the next one will be on Islamic, something related to investment, but Sharia compliant kind of investments that you can make in Malaysia. And this one will be presented by Suraya, who is the blogger of Ringgit or Ringgit. So we have her around. That will be next week. So please stay tuned for our webinar invites via our email and stuff like that. Email blastings and stuff like that. All right. So once again, we are moving into the Christmas season. So wishing all of you in advance happy holidays. And of course, for Ms. Koon, thank you so much once again for your presentation, and wish you all the best for 2019 and as well as the year ahead, which is 2020. All right. So with that, let's all go out for makan and see you guys soon.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye.